Hi, Pauline. Hey, Renee, how are you this morning?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Great, great. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'm super excited to get to visit.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So is it a little bit less stormy up where you are today, or?
The story, yeah. That's
Yeah,
never materialized.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping we don't have much today, but yeah, hopefully it doesn't interfere with our visit. But well, let me take a moment and introduce you to our folks that are watching. Guys, this is Renee Jones, and Renee and I have had the opportunity to meet through Carrie Brown's kitchen group. And I just have such respect for Renee. She really is wonderful at helping people with issues of the heart and helping folks too with some of the thinking that goes along with transforming our bodies and even addictive type behaviors with eating. So really excited to have you here to talk with us and to help us reframe our thinking as we go through our ketogenic journey. Would you take just a couple of minutes and share with folks a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
how you help folks?
I was on a diet for 40 years. 40. I started with 10, and just all the different ones that came along. My mother and I would do them. My family tends to be heavy, and we tried them all. We just couldn't stick to it. And we might get close to a weight we wanted to get to, and then something would happen, and we'd kind of crash land in front of the refrigerator. Because for us, food meant love, it meant comfort, it meant soothing. So in 2012, I was staring down my 50th birthday, and I thought, there's got to be a way to do this. And what finally worked for me was addressing the heart issues. Because, as I like to say, when you face your stuff, you no longer need to stuff your face. In 2014, I had lost my weight the week before my 50th birthday, and 2014, I was still struggling to keep my weight down. I was doing it, but it was hard.
Sure.
And I took this metabolic test that said you need more fat. I was like, fat? And over time, I found the keto diet, and I've been keto since April of 2015.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So what I like to do is help people heal their hearts, because once you heal that stuff, once you get over that stuff, your body is your body, your baggage is your baggage, but your best is still your best. And if we can address those areas and set you kind of free from that stuckness, then you'll be crushing it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love your message, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to get to share you with our community, because these things are so real and such a big part of our healing. I keep sharing with folks that not only are we healing our bodies, but we are healing our mind, our spirit, and our hearts. And one of the things I myself have gone through is through my journey, my body started changing, but there were times for myself that I still have the larger Anna in my head, the person that was afraid to sit in certain types of chairs, and because I didn't want to break a chair because I was so big, or just even moving through space and being a little invisible. And as I've lost weight, I've spoken with other folks who've asked me these same sort of questions of how do I transform my mind to this different body that I am now in. What would be some suggestions that you could give folks that might be listening?
Well, there are a number of things you can do. I mean, part of it is choosing. have to allow yourself to believe who you are and leave off the option of ever going back there. Because it's that fear of going back to that space that tends to drive that. But unfortunately, that fear feeds our need for comfort, which makes us often want to eat, which drives us that direction. So just choosing, okay, this is the body I have. Look in the mirror. Take pictures. Look at what you're working with. And let that image begin to shift. One thing that I found really helpful for myself, because I used to be quite cynical, and thank God I've been delivered from that. But one of the things I did was, your smartphone. You can set alarms on your smartphone, right?
Set alarms on what?
Your smartphone.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Right? So, because I'm older, I didn't know you could change the word alarm to something else.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
If you go in there and you set yourself 2 or 3 alarms throughout the day, and you change what it says, rather than alarm, make it say something you need to hear. Like, it could be your size, or the size you want, or whatever numbers or words mean something to you, because it's your body. It's got to be specific to you, right?
Right.
And let those alarms go off throughout the day. They can be different words, they can be all the same, just to remind you, because you've been reminding yourself of that image for long enough that it's going to take a little while to interrupt that pattern and allow you to see differently, think differently. And for me, it took about 2 months before I didn't look at my phone and go, true that. It's like, oh, that's becoming true.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So those are just a couple of things you can do, practical things you can do to begin to shift your mind.
That's beautiful. I like that. And just reprogramming, essentially. Reprogramming our minds to see who we are and to really embrace that person that we're authentically supposed to be.
Yeah. The your best part.
Mm-hmm.
I do this exercise called the compass, and I'm gonna post it the video in a few days, weeks, sometime when it seems appropriate to go on to Carrie's site. But it is an exercise where you figure out, okay, what will actually drive you, what will help you, and then that becomes your compass. And when do you need a compass? When you're lost, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that if you make your best that compass for you, then anything that takes you toward that, you're going to do. Anything that takes you away from that, you're going to go, wait a minute, do I need to do that? So in the same way, when that image of your body, how you see it, comes into your mind, you go, wait a minute, that's just not true anymore. This is the truth. And let yourself focus on that, because you've been programmed the other way for a long time.
Yes.
And you just need to get free of it.
I love that. You didn't even know this, but that is part of our Keto San Antonio new logo. This is a compass. And so almost makes me, have little heart moments, because yes, our logo is a compass, and finding your direction and staying on course, and also for us, it's within sort of a primal visual. But yeah, I love that. That's wonderful. So beautiful. Just had to put that in there. Yes, it's wonderful. And then there's one of the other things I wanted to share. Periodically, I have this beautiful opportunity to speak to different folks and have them ask me questions. And one of the things that I've had come up in several different conversations over the years is folks asking me, Anna, I had lost X number of pounds and I was doing really good. I was looking really great. And I got scared. I started having maybe either women pay attention to me or men pay attention to me. And I was not used to that. And it kind of scared me. And so I started eating again. And I regained my weight, plus others. And because I felt like I had to, almost as though, for a lot of us that are heavy, we can almost use our body size as that buffer, that emotional buffer, psychologically, and sometimes I think for many of us, not even consciously. And
No.
yes, and so what kind of guidance or words of encouragement can you give folks in this transformation of how can we protect ourselves from going there? How can we dig into those deeper issues that really don't have anything to do with food?
Yeah, and some of that you can do on your own, and some you may need at least an objective person, because it's so easy to go off in a direction that's not as helpful, or to let yourself off. This is just what I do. Okay? That's why we have New Year's resolutions, because we're looking for something to hold us accountable, right? Most of the time, it helps to figure out, okay, what is it that I'm actually afraid of? Is it the attention? Is it that I will be visible? Because, unfortunately, weight kind of makes us invisible in many ways. And if you like invisibility, it's very hard to make that transition. And I want to know, why don't you want the visibility? What is that about? It's very often finding the root of it, figuring out, okay, what is it that's actually going on here? And if we can unwind that, then you get free. But you have to be willing to do the hard work to get to that. And those are some uncomfortable questions. And it's sometimes helpful if you've got someone to say, I know, this is really hard. I'm going to hold your hand as you do it. Yeah? I mean, there are lots of pieces in there. And
Absolutely.
I'd like to say, oh, you just do this. But everybody's different.
Yes.
We have reactions based on experiences we have. I had a client this morning. She's in the UK, so it was really early, and the internet wasn't working well. And I was getting so frustrated trying to do the work, and I thought, oh, wait a minute. What's really frustrating you is your fears because of something that happened in the past, that even if it wasn't my fault, I got blamed and beaten for it. So looking for, okay, what is that original experience that's driving this?
Excellent. Yes. Good points. And it all boils down to being willing to do the work and look at ourselves and to see all those parts of ourselves that need healing. And
Hi, Stu.
yeah, Stewie. And so yes, thank you for that. We do need to keep looking deeper and be willing to not only look at the healing that we have to do inside of our bodies physically, but really address our hearts and our minds too. And that was, that's so powerful to take us to those next places that we need to be truly healthy.
And it is hard.
It is hard.
Do it. It just takes a little extra effort. But I'm telling you, once you get to the other side, it's like, oh, you feel like you've lost 20 pounds just from that burden you've been carrying.
Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, one of the things you said earlier in our conversations about, I think you mentioned about taking pictures and even measuring. Those are some things that, like for those of us that are on social media, that I see as a positive things. Those, I always tell folks, take those pictures. You need to see those side by sides. There are times when we don't see maybe movement on the scale, but to be able to see even simple things like my complexion is so much better. And see inflammation going down. To see those transformations can help our minds as well to see, gosh, all these efforts, my emotional healing, my physical healing, it's all showing in my whole aura of being. So those are really great suggestions. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask our audience, do we have any questions? Maybe some things that you guys might like to ask Renee. Maybe she can help as far as guidance. And I'm not sure because I've been kind of playing with Facebook. Are you able to see questions as well, or is it just me?
I see something down there. I see colorful Keto with Dory.
Yes, that's one of our viewers. And hey, Dory, I hadn't even noticed. She's adorable. And let's see. Jennifer here in San Antonio had said, yes, not knowing how to handle compliments and attention is a real issue.
Okay, you want to know the answer?
Yes. Share.
You don't have to say anything more, but just appreciate their effort of trying to encourage you. And thank you is perfect. You don't need anything more.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me just look up here and see if we have some other thoughts. Let's see. I don't see any more questions. But do you have any other little words of wisdom to maybe? Sure. Hey.
So we were talking about body image, and I think it is important to realize that we never feel really good when we're focused solely on something we simply cannot have or can't attain or have to kill ourselves to get. It's never worth it. I mean, do what you can, absolutely, but recognize that designers create clothes for 2x6s, 2x12s, you know, the boards. You know, I love certain designers, but one in particular only really builds for boards, and I actually have hips and a waist.
Amen to that.
He's looking at how this would look on a 1x12. That's not a woman's body. He's looking at how fabric lies on a body. But that's not what clothes are about. That's not what our body image ought to be about. So focusing on what we either cannot have or cannot attain, it's just not possible for us, is futile. Look at what makes you feel good. Focus on what you bring. I mean, I got hips and I have a waist, and that's lovely. That's the way women are supposed to be.
Absolutely.
So celebrating that rather than this, it's a waste of time.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And that was one of my transformations, was to start embracing the fact that I have a very small waist and I have thick thighs, and going, you know what? That's okay. I'm and even at times looking at myself and going, there's some hotness in that, and reframing how we talk to ourselves rather than to see those, for me, my thighs and go, and just to try to find some beauty in what I was gifted with in this shell shell and celebrate it for what it is. And I love that.
It's really important because there's function. I mean, I have childbearing hips. There's a good thing in that.
Absolutely.
It did not help me when I talked about my legs as fence posts. That did not encourage me. But I can walk for miles and not get tired. I don't have to, but I can. So finding whatever that area that we don't love, finding what it does for you is really important.
Yes, and changing our language and how we talk about ourselves, because how we talk about ourselves is also how we talk to ourselves,
and often to others, unfortunately. And if you're beating yourself up, how does that help change your body?
Exactly.
What does it do for you? It does. It makes it worse in the end. So why would you do that? There's no help in that.
Absolutely. My friend Simon has posed a really great question. He says, one of my biggest issues is insecurities. What is your experience in those insecurities healing as you lose weight? So essentially he's asking, as you're losing weight, how would you recommend somebody going through that process of moving past the insecurities to heal that?
Okay.
The emotional part.
So some of those things are easier if you know what those insecurities are, but recognize that you are making progress. And progress is fantastic, even if it's not perfection. You are actually doing something that 90% of the world doesn't even think about doing. You are improving yourself. And your body is not who you are. We look at it as if it is, but it's that heart and that mind that is the soul of who you are.
Absolutely.
So look at the things that you are doing to improve your body as, okay, this is really good for my health. But it's not the only thing about you. And don't dare believe someone who says it is, because that's not true.
Beautiful. And Simon, I have to just do a little, you're a beautiful soul. You really are. Okay, and then we have from Dory, on the other side of that question, I'm offended when people say things like, wow, you look great now. That's something that can be, especially when we're talking to folks that maybe, I'm more speaking from my own perspective. Maybe we're used to maybe not being so kind to me in the past, or allowed me to be invisible. So I love that question. Yes.
Okay. So if there's people doing this, they can thank God. And if they thought well enough to say something, then again you say, thank you. Be gracious to them about it. And remember, your value is not your body. You being able to be gracious to someone who clumsily tries to give you a compliment or a backhanded compliment, you can still be gracious to them and you're still ahead. Because how you treat someone else is so much more important than getting caught up in the, well, did they think I look awful before? And letting that take your day.
Good point. Beautiful. Let me just look here and see. Okay, I think that's all the questions we have right now.
Okay.
But I cannot thank you enough, Renee, for taking the time to talk with us. And I feel like these messages are so important and such a huge part of our healing, and part of what takes us to that that other place that you describe of freedom. And thank you for your heart healing advice.
Of course. No problem. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again sometime.